Just like the good old days. Sunday night, Jon and Jim wrap-up show. We are into 2023. We're about, I don't even know, 6 weeks out from the first spring training game, something like that, February 24th. We're moving. Pitchers and catchers reporting probably in about 35 days or so. And we're talking Padres baseball and the fact that Fernando Tatis Jr. has been cleared to resume baseball activities, plus some of these huge moves they've been making, Jim. I mean, the Adam Engel deal that everyone's talking about. We'll talk about the payroll flexibility or lack thereof, because Dennis Lin has written a little bit about that. I read MLB trade rumors today. And it sounds like if the Padres are really going to add for 2023, sure. I mean, you could have some small additions still, but if they're really going to add, it might be via trade, free up some capital, some salary, bring some salary in. So, Jon and Jim with you. It is the wrap-up show. My son hopefully is going to sleep, so I'm trying to chill. Please subscribe. If you're a Padres fan, please subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. You got to subscribe, especially in 2023. It's going to be a huge year for the wrap-up show, Jon and Jim and the Padres. So please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at Jon Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Also, if you want to support this channel, a great way to do that is by clicking the $sign in the chat box down below. We interact with all the super chats. We always do that. We really appreciate your support of this channel. If you want to become a member, click the join button down below as well. You get custom emojis and badges. But I think we'll start, Jim, with Fernando Tatis Jr. cleared for baseball activities 2022. It's like you just want to wipe it away if you're Tatis, and hopefully 2023 is a lot better.
Yeah, like we have been waiting a long time, and he's been waiting a long time to really start going. You know, like he hasn't been able to fully do baseball activities 100% for well over a year. Like, think about that.
It's crazy.
Now he did. I take that back. Just
the brief period of time.
The brief period of time when he had that minor league stint was when he was going, I guess, 100%. But this, to me, is the first time in over a year, and really 2 years when you think about it. Because remember the start of the 2021 season, how he subluxed his shoulder right before the start of the year on the slide in the home plate. So he hasn't been fully healthy for 2 years.
It is kind of crazy,
you know, and so hopefully with the shoulder surgery and the 2 wrist surgeries, he's now fully healthy. We don't have to worry about him subluxing his shoulder on just a random swing, right? And this is the first time in 2 years total, 2 full years, where he has been fully healthy on a baseball field.
It's amazing. And we talked about this a little bit on the radio, I want to say Thursday or Friday. And Faye, good to have you in the chat. Everyone here, thank you for hanging out. Please subscribe. If you're a Padres fan, we have year-round content for you. I'm kind of with Faye. Like, once I found out he was cleared, I'm like, man, this is exciting. When you consider, forget what Tatis has gone through. He's gone through a lot, but the fan base has too. It's like we were so excited for 2022, day one of spring training. The guy's out with a wrist. Then middle of the year, we think he's coming back, and he doesn't because of PEDs. It's like, man, it's just like the idea that you get him on the field at the end of April, and hopefully that's the case. He's got to be healthy, and he's coming off major surgeries, shoulder and wrist. But like this idea that he's going to be, like you said, fully healthy maybe in 2023 and maybe playing again. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but playing 120, 130 games, staying healthy, having a fixed shoulder, having a fixed wrist. I mean, that's amazing to think about. He might not have the exact same season of 2020 or 2021. We talked about this on the radio as well, but I mean, even 80%. I mean, this guy's an elite player and he's an elite hitter. And, 80% of Fernando Tatis Jr., I think you said is a top 20 player maybe in baseball. I mean, if you can guarantee that right now, I think most people are going to take it.
Yeah. And like I said this on Jon and Jim earlier this week, if you could take this Tatis's 2021 season where he had 42 home runs and had an OPS of like 960, finished third in MVP voting, almost had 100 RBIs, hit 280 something, right? If you take 80% of that season, would you take it right now?
Yeah, I mean, 80% of like a 1,000 OPS is an 800 OPS, so maybe that's
I meant
not
like
exactly
more like production, not like his like OPS number. Like if he gave you an 850 OPS number with 28 home runs and 80 RBIs or 70 RBIs, would you take that right now?
I think I have to, because the alternative is, what if he doesn't provide that?
And I'll give you a kicker. He remains healthy for the entire year.
Then you have to, because if he's healthy for the entire year, I mean, it's better than him hitting 310 and playing 70 games and
I'd rather
hitting
have a fully
25 home
healthy.
runs.
I'd rather have a fully healthy Tatis hitting 260 with 25 home runs and 65 RBIs going into a postseason run than a guy who is 70% healthy.
Yep, I'm with you. Yeah,
Because we know Tatis and how special he is, and we know that this dude could go off at any moment, and he could carry a team. You know, he can have a series where he hits 4 home runs in the postseason. You're like, holy shit. You know, the biggest thing with him, and this is going to be preached a lot by the Padres next year, I guarantee it, getting through a full season with Tatis fully healthy.
But it's one of those things is like, you can talk about it until you're blue in the face. It's like, how do you even prepare for that? You know what I mean? Like, what do
Prepare
you
for what?
do? Staying healthy for a full season. Like, you can go into the season and be like, I'm going to stay healthy for the full season.
I mean, honestly, John, like, take some luck, dude. Like every
Exactly. That's my
time
point.
you go through a full season in any sport, it takes luck for you to be fully healthy.
Exactly.
And
But
so hopefully luck's on his side.
not just luck, but hopefully he's actually like healed. Like, he had a shoulder that wasn't 100%, that wasn't surgically repaired. He had a wrist that even last year, let's be honest, if he came back last summer, he wasn't going to be 100% with the wrist. There's just no way he would have been. But now he's had so much time that I got to presume that the shoulder and wrist are pretty close to 100%. Maybe not as much the shoulder, right? Didn't he just have the shoulder? Well, he can't play anywhere near 162, Justin. He's got a 20-game PED suspension to start the year, 142 max. There's no chance in hell that he touches anywhere near 140 because he's going to, especially initially, he's going to be getting days off and DHing. I mean, 130 would be an amazing season. 130 out of 142 with some off days built in initially, 130 would be incredible.
And if he plays 130 with an 850 OPS,
and 28 home runs.
And 28 home runs and 65, 70 RBIs, like,
that's a pretty good year, because if you said it was 160, it would be like 35 home runs and like 90 RBIs. Again, I get his point. Maybe it's a tick down from what you want for your $300 million player, but it's also his first year back from multiple surgeries. We're not saying those are his career numbers.
No.
We're saying that's 1 year, it's age 24. He stays healthy. He's not identical to what we saw, but hopefully he can tick it back up, you know, maybe in the postseason or second half of the year, 2024.
Because he's a guy that he can exceed expectations easily. I'm just trying to temper expectations just because I think you have to be a realist here, no matter who it is. If you don't play baseball or any sport for 2+ years, you're going to be rusty when you come back. Like, it's just a fact. Like, I mean, Klay Thompson missed 2 straight years with big injuries. He's not the same. It took him a while to get back. So, you know, and I know it's basketball, it's not baseball. But you get my point. In any sport, if you don't play for 2 seasons, 2 full years, essentially. Well, not 2 full years, but you get my point. He hasn't played baseball. He hasn't been fully on the field consistently for a full season since late September of 2021.
It's a long, long time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even, it's not unprecedented, obviously. It's missing a year. He's not a pitcher, though. Pitchers miss years often because of Tommy John. You know, it'll happen, but it's a long, long time.
It is.
Let's get to our first super of the night. Michael, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Please subscribe if you're a Padres fan. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at Jon Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you want to support this channel like Michael just did, you can click the $sign. It's in the chat box down below. We interact with all of the super chats. We appreciate your membership as well. Michael, he says, I'm so glad that my second favorite Padre right now is back. Who's your first? Guessing Manny?
Manny, Musgrove, Soto, Bogart.
True. There's a lot of options. Good point.
There's a lot of, yeah.
Where do you think he ranks on most Padres fans' lists? I'm talking about Tatis right now as we speak. Is he still a top 3 with you saying Manny and Musgrove? And I mean, who, you know?
No.
Okay, give me what you think is just the top 5 on the team right now.
Manny, Musgrove,
Soto, Bogarts.
Soto. I mean,
Darvish.
you could argue Darvish ahead of Soto because Darvish has been here longer. He's done more for the Padres than Soto has. So
rank your top 5 if you're here live or on replay.
Top 5 most
just exactly
Padres
favorite
on the team. Favorite Padres.
Who are your 5 favorite as we speak?
People might put Cronenworth in their top 5.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Some might put Ha-Seong Kim in their top 5. Honestly,
no, absolutely. I mean, this is a subjective.
You might even have
list.
Bogarts in the top 5. He hasn't even done anything. I think
he could be because people are excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. I would think now, and we did this last year.
Yes, we did.
And it was, who is the most beloved Padre on the team? Was it Manny or Musgrove or Tatis? And Musgrove was the most beloved Padre that we got at the time. But then Manny had an MVP season. Yeah.
And of course, Musgrove had some huge moments.
True. Musgrove's game 3 in New York, game 4 versus the Dodgers at home, his no-hitter. He's got the contract extension. He's been an all-star. Yep. He's been your best pitcher of the last 2 years. Why does Ben hate Manny Machado? That's my question.
Manny, okay. Yeah, behind Cronenworth, you're saying? Yeah, why do you also hate Tatis?
Right, you hate Tatis too.
Jeez. This would be an interesting list, though, to come up with. Let me just run through some. Tatis is in there. Tatis is in this one.
But the thing is, I don't think he's in everybody. Before all this happened, like the end of 2021, he was in everybody's top 5. And he was probably number 1.
He was number 1 for most people. There was a time when I thought he was a bigger figure than Machado. I'm not saying a better player, although I thought he was, honestly.
I do think that, and I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying I think that some people who just read headlines and watch clips of videos after the Tatis and Machado but yelling match in St. Louis, some might have put Tatis lower than that or Machado lower than that just because of the look of it, And when we all know that that's baseball and it happens and there's nothing to see here.
Yep. No, you're right. What's up, Rich? Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think there's a decent amount of people with Tatis on that list, and there's some people that aren't going to have Tatis on that list. Faye had him first. Our buddy Sad Fryer has him second. So, I mean, he's going to be a popular figure. He's going to have to produce. Let me get back to Michael. Michael, thank you again, and thank you guys for the super chats. Appreciate your support of the channel. Just click that $sign in the chat box down below. Jon and Jim with you. Please subscribe if you're here live or on replay. He says, will AJ do anything before spring training? I got a feeling AJ isn't done yet. Let me just read something here, Jim, if you don't mind.
I do mind, actually.
Here's Padres offseason so far, right? Bogarts, Martinez, Suarez, Lugo, Carpenter. Some of these minor moves we talked about in the last day. What were, Engel, a 4th outfielder. What else did they do? Honeywell, relief piece. But Dennis wrote that the Padres projected payroll, or this is MLB trade rumors, the Padres projected payroll is $250 with an estimated tax of like $267. MLB trade rumor says, however, according to Dennis Lin, people familiar with the team's thinking, this is from Dennis, people familiar with the team's thinking say the Padres are up against a self-prescribed spending limit. This is Dennis. And I don't know if that was over the weekend or not. I'm not sure if I read that or not. He says the limit isn't necessarily absolute, since, as Lin notes, the internal spending limit is ultimately up to the owner, Peter Seidler, who might decide to, again, greenlight a big expenditure if it means getting the Padres a step closer to a World Series title. But they basically go on to say, listen, if you are going to get some real big piece in here, other than the Honeywells and the Engels and the Wilmer Fonts of the world, you might have to trade for it and free up some salary, like Ha-Seong Kim, who's making something like $7 million up against the luxury tax number. So maybe you could trade for a starter that's owed $6 or $7 million. Or like a Brian Reynolds who's owed $6.5 million. But Drew Pomeranz, can you move him? But the point is, like, in terms of spending, then again, how many free agents are out there? But in terms of spending, I don't know if they're going to add another $20 million piece.
No. And while Cueto would be a really good fit for this team, like, I personally think the signings of Honeywell kind of signaled there might be, like, Cueto might be out of their price range.
Right. Yeah.
That's just me. You sign this guy potentially to a major, basically to a major league deal for the minimum. And you're like, Yeah, they're not getting Cueto. If they get Cueto, great, but it just doesn't feel that way.
Mm-hmm. And what did Jesse Rogers say? $20 million a year
For a guy that for what Cueto did last year, if Clevenger's and Manaya's getting 12 million dollars a year, you're giving freaking Cueto 15 minimum, because Cueto was by far the better pitcher out of all those three. Not even close.
Right. That's what, as JK kind of chimed in here earlier, as we talk about right now. I mean, when I read what Dennis writes, now, you got Peter Seidler, and he's among the more aggressive owners in baseball. Outside of Steve Cohen, I would say that he's arguably the most aggressive owner in baseball right now. So I wouldn't say never. But again, you have to ask yourself, we said this as well, maybe on the wrap-up show, maybe on the radio, like, is this the difference? Is Johnny Cueto the difference between 89 wins and 99 wins, or the National League Championship Series and the World Series? I mean, you never know. It could be any piece, any player at any time. But I don't know if Cueto's the one that I'm going to just push all my chips into the middle of the table with, despite the fact that I'm a little concerned about the starting pitching to start the year. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, because I think it's thinner than it was in 2022.
It definitely is thinner. There's no question about that. You have Darvish, Snell, Musgrove, and Nick Martinez. Okay. Last year it was Darvish, Snell. Well, not really Snell to start the year, but it was Darvish, Musgrove, Manaya, threw in Clevenger in there. Gore started the season. Martinez as well. You had a bunch of guys, and then Snell came back, and then, Clevenger was back. I mean, I guess if you want to put Seth Lugo in the mix too to get some starting starts.
But again, he's not going to make 30 starts at 160 innings.
No.
There's no chance of that. I mean, again, they have the internal guys we've talked about, the Morehones of the world, could make some starts, but I do think it's a little thinner than it was a year ago, which may or may not be a problem to start the year, but it's something they might have to address in the year. Sean, thank you, my man, for the super chat and hanging out and your support of the channel. He says, I hope the veterans can mellow Tatis a bit. LFG, do you think that he needs to be mellowed at some point or no?
Dude, if him getting suspended for PEDs isn't like a humbling experience, I don't know what is. And he's going to be walking back into that clubhouse feeling to himself that he has to go back out there and earn the players' respect. Even though if he might not have to, he's going to probably feel that way. And he's going to want to go out there, and he's going to want to help this team win in the biggest way possible and be one of the best players out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he needs any like mellowing by any stretch. Manny's the leader of this team. Soto's a leader of this team. Musgrove's a leader of this team. Darvish is a leader of this team. Cronenworth has stepped up, into a role of, I don't want to say leadership, but just maybe a guy that the players look to. Clubhouse leader Craig Stammen's not there yet, but
right.
And they have one of the best managers like in the game. Bob Melvin hasn't managed a single game with Fernando Tatis Jr. yet.
Good point.
And that guy, I think, worked wonders last year at times.
Well, certainly it makes you a better manager having Xander Bogaerts and Fernando Tatis Jr.,
Right. Like the famous, I think Doug Collins in basketball said, he's like, I'm not a great coach. I'm just a good coach because I got Michael Jordan on my team.
Right. There's always that. Always that. That's a big part of it. Sean, thank you. Michael, thank you again for your support of this channel. He says, yes, trade Kim. You guys know I don't like Kim. I don't know if I necessarily knew that or not. Kim definitely improved between year 1 and year 2. Now, you could argue about his ability to be a regular on a World Series caliber team. I think defensively, he's clearly there. Offensively, there have been moments. I mean, there have absolutely been glimpses where this guy's a major league caliber regular, and there's other times where he can go 2 weeks and not necessarily hit. But, would I consider moving Kim? We had this conversation 2 weeks ago, probably, maybe 3. Would I consider moving Kim? Well, of course. I mean, he's not untouchable. If I could bolster my rotation by moving Ha-Seong Kim, I would consider it. I'm not saying I absolutely definitively would move Ha-Seong Kim, but if I can make my team better, that's basically the case with anyone that isn't named Soto and Machado and Tatis and Bogart. This core of 6, 7, 8, the next 6, 7, 8, you have to consider if it can make your team better. So that's what I would say about Ha-Seong Kim, but I'll give him credit because I thought he had a pretty nice year.
He's pre-proved that he's a valuable piece to a team, a winning team.
Mhm.
Like, he's not the end all be all to a winning team, but he's a valuable piece.
Right.
And I wouldn't consider Ha-Seong Kim a guy that is untouchable. I'll just say that.
Right. Thank you again, Michael. Let me get to, I see a couple more supers in here. Thank you guys for your support with the supers. We're going to get to all of them. We're going to tell you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, in a moment as well. I wanted to get to this from our buddy HBVV, BRB, FBN. Rolls off the tongue.
It rolls right off the tongue, you know.
Is that your real name, by the way?
HBVV, FBN.
Thank you for the super and your support. He says, "You guys think Manny and Xander will get along?"
Let me answer that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Xander's got 2 rings.
You can just tell, even though I ruined the press conference, okay?
Yeah, you did.
And I blacked out. You can tell, and you said it afterwards. He's like, I love this guy.
I love his personality.
He is so energetic. His personality is magnetic. He is a guy that's all fans are going to love, and it's going to be really hard for, I feel like, Manny and Xander to not get along. I'll just say
I agree. Okay, we're going to get to Mark Nimitz, but let me tease what we're going to talk about on the other side. Here's the tease. We haven't talked a lot about this, but if someone wants to talk about it and they want to support this channel with it, we will do it. I think Andrew's in Korea. Maybe back. He used to say yen when he would super, so maybe he's back from Korea. We will talk about this, Andrew, in a moment. I'll pull it back up, but we do need to tell you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. If you've been with this channel for a long, long time, you know about Mark. And please support Mark Nimitz, because if you've got insurance needs, Mark is your guy. He can save you $750 or more on your insurance needs. I just renewed with him for a second year. He took care of everything when we had a claim in here in 2022. He's a great insurance agent. He's a huge Padres fan. He's a lifelong San Diegan. Jim and I recently just did lunch with him. He's just a terrific guy, and he's got great service and communication. He's going to help you with whatever your insurance is. And whatever, the next time you have a renewal, before you renew, get in contact with Mark. Auto, home, renter's life, earthquake insurance. Again, everyone could save money, and he could save you $750 or more just by switching your insurance. So I've got my homeowners, I've got my earthquake through Mark. Whatever your insurance need is, life, auto, home, business, here's his website. There's a link down below. You can get a quote online. You can get in contact with Mark. But again, if you support this channel and you want to support a local business here in San Diego, and if you have insurance needs, and we all do, please support our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all his information always is above my head. mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, let him know that Jon and Jim from the Wrap Up Show sent you. He'll also give you good advice on where to eat sushi as well.
Yeah, Poway Sushi. But Happy New Year, Mark Nimitz. And again, when you have insurance needs in 2023 and you want to save money and you want to support this channel, call Mark. He'll talk Padres baseball with you. All right, Andrew, thank you for your support. Thank you for the super. This has been touched on, whether it's online here on the Wrap-Up Show or on Jon and Jim on San Diego Sports 760. We've, by and large, stayed away from this topic, but we can broach it if you'd like. He says, get Bauer for a year. Stick it to the Dodgers. You can respond first.
What's less than 0%?
What is less than 0? 0.0, negative 0.
There is a less than 0% chance that Trevor Bauer will be a Padre anytime in his life. It's not happening. It's already I feel like it's already been confirmed by multiple people to us too, that it's not happening. There is no chance in hell that Trevor Bauer will be a Padre.
Okay, but let me ask. I'm going to reframe it.
I know you're going to ask.
What if?
I know
that wasn't the case?
Right.
Even in a theoretical world.
Yeah, I know. If there was even in a theoretical world, no, because you look the talent. I'll say the talent of Trevor Bauer, taking away his himself personally, off field stuff, everything, the way he acts, all that bullshit. The talent. Yeah, I think any team that is trying to win a World Series would want the talent of Trevor Bauer. But you can't just get the talent of somebody. You need the person, and the person is a complete just stay away from type of person. And that is something that I don't think many or all winning teams and teams looking to win a World Series next year will touch, because the distraction's not worth it. Okay. And just that alone, and then two, trying to explain it to your fan base. And three, what team out there has like New England Patriots, Golden State Warriors, like credibility?
I don't. And do the Patriots even have that? I mean, they've had so many issues. The whole Patriot Way thing, it's all PR. It's all fluff. You know what I mean? Like,
I take that. I thought of a team that I think would sign the Braves, and I think I think they would sign Bauer and they'd be okay with it. That's Atlanta Braves.
Why?
I think that, the climate, I just think that the Braves would be a team that have some credibility. They've won a World Series recently, and I think they're a team that if they wanted to sign Trevor Bauer and try to explain it to their fan base, I think their fan base would over time be like, okay, that's fine.
It's going to be a tough spin, whoever does it. I would say this, and I've said it on the radio. I think I've maybe said it here as well. I'm all for winning at all costs, but not really at all costs. Say that's cliche to say. There has to be a line. And for me, there is a line. I want to see a Padres parade as much as everyone in here. I really do. But to what end? I mean, come on. Not to the specifics of this case are not good. He was suspended for a long period of time, and the suspension is based on domestic abuse. Like, zero tolerance when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I'm not signing Aroldis Chapman. I'm not signing Trevor Bauer.
Nope.
And I can put my foot down. I can feel good about it when I put my pillow or my head on the pillow at night. And yes, everyone wants a World Series, and sports are about winning, but you have to have some morals to stand on. And listen, I don't want to get into the semantics or the specifics of the Bauer case. Maybe I don't know the entirety of it. I'm sure I don't. I know he wasn't legally culpable. I think that's accurate. I don't know about civilly, though. And it's problematic, and I don't want to go down that path, and I don't think the Padres need to go down that path to try to win a World Series. And to follow up, Michael, thank you for the super. He says, no Bauer. He's a woman beater, and I don't support Bauer. I mean, this is going to be the prevailing thought. I understand the idea. I mean, what Andrew just said is not the only baseball fan out there in all these markets to say, what about Bauer? I understand what he's capable of doing on field, like you just said. But I also understand that this is going to matter. I mean, it's not just about what happens on field. It's about what you do as a human being and as a person. And I just don't think it's right. I don't think that's the way you want to win, in my opinion.
And to anybody out there that says, well, he was quote unquote exonerated, no charges were filed, the restraining order from this woman was denied. Okay, but guess what? He's still a misogynist, and he's a narcissist, and he has threatened women online, and he has harassed women multiple times online as well. So those things alone are making me stay so far away from him. Even if you want to try to justify, well, he didn't get charged with anything, and the woman's restraining order wasn't filed, and so that means he's innocent. Okay, even if he is innocent, right, which I guess he is, and you want to go that route and try to justify it, there's still so many more things that he has done before this whole incident has happened that made me, you, and also made the Padres not even want to get close to this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any scenario where they entertain it, to your point. I just don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think, who was it? Chelsea Janes from the Washington Post, who's, brilliant baseball reporter that was all over the Juan Soto trade before it happened, months before it. She's under the impression he will pitch in 2023. Mm-hmm. She thinks that there is a team. She's not saying a specific team, but she's saying there are teams out there that will prioritize winning over his off-field activity, especially since there aren't legal charges. And the fact that he's gone from LA, of course, he's not going to go back into that clubhouse. The whole situation occurred in Los Angeles. But she thought that there could be a team that would take, I don't know if a flyer is even the right word, but because of what he can do on field, that he's going to get back on the mound. And who am I to doubt that? I mean, Chelsea Janes knows a lot more about the situation than I do, that's for sure. So there is a possibility. I don't know if it's a probability, but there is a possibility that he pitches in 2023. But I find it entirely improbable, if not impossible, that it's with the Padres.
And I just want to hear, you probably saw it. You guys are soft. Giles, Nevin, Kim, and Eddie all abusers, a bunch of new Padres fans. Okay, there's a big difference between what you're talking about there, because one, I'm talking about like who's in charge of the Padres right now. Peter Seidler and AJ Preller. Were Peter Seidler around when Giles and Nevin and Kim and Eddie were on the team? No, they weren't.
Different generation.
Different generation. So the ownership group and everybody is completely different. That's why this makes it a 0% chance of this happening. And when these things, I guess, were happening, like if we had a talk show, John, and if we had a wrap-up show and these things came out and whatever, I think we'd have the same sentiment towards those guys as we do Trevor Bauer.
Right. I mean, if I knew the specifics of all of this, I mean, at the time, of course. I mean, if the Padres signed Trevor Bauer tomorrow, they're going to get absolutely killed, including by this channel. Okay? I mean, it's not happening. I mean, I don't know all the particulars of those examples 20-something years ago. I know the world we live in. I know the owner of this team. I know about social media. I know what they've already accomplished on field. They got to the national. You don't even want to walk. You don't want to go down that path if you're the San Diego Padres. I don't think most of their fan base wants them to go down that path. I'm not saying nobody does. There's people here. There's a couple people say, hey, what about Bauer? And that's fine. You can absolutely have that opinion. I have no problem with that opinion at all. I'd be shocked. I'd be utterly shocked. And I don't think it's a good idea. This mic is like,
yeah, what's going on?
I don't know. I really don't.
Would you stop doing the wrap-up show and talk Padres if they signed Bauer?
No, absolutely not. Under no circumstance. No. You know us, Alex. I mean, we'll criticize it. I'm not gonna go wear a brown paper bag to the ball. I'm not gonna not watch the guy pitch. You know what I mean? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. I would be against it. I know Jim, based on what he's saying, would be against it. I think a large percentage of the fan base would be against it. But I recognize that in sports there are people that might not be great people. And I watch sports. There's people in the NFL. There's people in Major League Baseball that have been, there's people that have been suspended for domestic abuse, obviously, other than Trevor Bauer, and we still watch those teams and watch sports. So,
and look,
I'd keep doing this.
I'll say this for the people in the chat that are like, we should just sign him. And then I'm telling you, and John, we know for a fact that they're not touching Bauer. Okay.
Yeah, there's that as well. It's not happening.
It's a fact. Take it from us. All right. We're not the source guys. We're not, but we know for a fact it's not happening.
There's that too.
Yeah.
Oh look, Bauer 4 years. I'm just kidding.
No, it's a fact.
It's not happening. It's not
guarantee
happening.
You.
Again, is it something to discuss? Yeah, it's come up on radio. It's come up here. I memean, it's going to come up until this guy signs elsewhere. You're going to say, oh, the Padres have rotation needs.
Yeah. How you, and I see Jamie, how you know? You want to say sources have told us it's not happening. There. I'm a source guy now.
He's a source guy now. Michael, thank you again for your support and the super. If you guys want to support this channel, just click the $ in the chat box down below. Jon and Jim with you on a Sunday night. If you're here live or on replay, you have to subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you, and 2023 is coming quickly, folks. It's coming quickly. Michael says he's been a Padres fan for 25 years now, but he's also a Catholic. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael. We do appreciate that, and we do appreciate your support. Again, this is the problem with a conversation like this, and again, I respect everyone's opinion, but you look in the chat on something like this, and it's a polarizing thing to discuss things that happen off field.
Because fans some fans, they don't give a shit. They just want to win. And I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. When you don't win, you want to win.
Right. If you're not winning every year, you kind of want to go that route of, well, this guy can help us win regardless, But it's just a situation where you guys can talk about it and try for it all you want. It's not happening.
No, I'm with you. And by the way, the Padres do win, but the idea, they haven't won a World Series. That's why if I'm Atlanta, why would I do it? I just won a World Series. I mean, what's the goal? Win a World Series? There's no chance.
We're not blowing this off. We're not saying there's no of it happening. None.
Let me get to this super from Curious Creative, no or not talented. Thank you for your support with the membership and the super chat. He says, "What about sign Bauer and then just send him to single A ball and bench him just so he doesn't get back in baseball with any team?"
That's like a next level chess move. But here's the thing:
too crazy.
The Dodgers are not going to want the Dodgers don't want him,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't see. That'd be crazy if that happened, but it's not going to.
Yeah, no, it's not. But again, I mean, we're going to talk about what people want to talk about. Alex, thank you for your support and for your super. He says, "I've been a Padres fan for 31 years, but I also have a sister, mom, girlfriend." Not happening. I mean, that's the problem. And by the way, the Padres fan base obviously is not just men. I mean, there's a huge percentage of their fan base that are women. Obviously, we interact with them. There's people at games. I mean, I don't care even if it was 100% men. It still doesn't make it right. So yeah, again, these are the same conversations you could have with the other 29 teams, and maybe one of the other 29 teams will ultimately sign him for whatever reason. He's under the impression he's playing in 2023. He's tweeted about it. He's posted videos about it. That doesn't mean he will. He's got to be signed,
Mm-hmm.
So yes, this started talking about Fernando Tatis Jr. It's gone down the path of Trevor Bauer. In addition to both Tatis and this Bauer thing that's not happening, you look at this roster, and other than I think in the ideal world, go add a rotation piece.
How far are we from spring training? 60 days?
Way less. You keep saying that.
I'm going to say that they're 60 days away when they're a day away.
How many days is it until February 24th? Because that's the first spring training game.
24 plus.
Here we go. I'm going to look it up.
Do the math, John. What's 30?
47. Dude, 47. We're 47 days until the spring training opener in Peoria against the Mariners that Tatis better be playing in.
Wow.
So that means pitchers and catchers are what, 7 days in front of that? Is it even more than that? 8, 9? So you're looking at what, 40 days? Who has the pitchers and catchers date? Can someone put that in the chat? I haven't seen it. What is the pitchers and catchers date in 2023?
I don't know. I don't know.
So 47 is the number of days, thank you, Jeremiah, until the spring training opener, which means I got to think you're about 40 days, which is less than 6 weeks, which means like a week after the Super Bowl or something like that. But other than the rotation, which would be nice to add another piece, is there anything necessary? Okay, you're catching whatever, but you're in the NLCS last year with your catching. Okay, your bench, but your bench sucked last year. So, I don't know if there's anything they have to do. If it's February 14th, by the way, that's 37 days out.
It's I think, just pitching. And if maybe they're looking at another catcher, but that'd be a trade. I don't think anything big's going to happen. I'd be shocked if it did. Not saying it wouldn't. I'm just saying I'd be shocked if it did.
You'd be shocked if a big trade happened?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was via trade.
But don't you feel like this roster is pretty much set?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
I mean, there's a couple things here.
Yeah, we're talking about like fourth outfielders, like Adam Engel.
Fourth outfielder, fifth starter, which is important, but still, their bullpen set. Their lineup set. Their rotation pretty much set. And bench, I mean, it's not the greatest bench in the world, but it's okay. It's doable, serviceable.
I agree with you. This is a great super from Nick, by the way. It says, I keep thinking about that good luck quote from Soto. Remember when they're like, what advice do you have for pitchers facing this lineup? He's like, I wish them good luck. And of course, the Padres didn't hit that year, but the point was a valid one. And now you add Bogarts to it. He says, swap Bell for Xander. Insane top 4 in the lineup. The top 4 is as good as you're going to find. After 5, though, Jim, I mean, I hate to have that conversation right now, but what's your post 5? The Nolas and the Kims and the Grishams. Who am I missing?
All right, here's my lineup when fully healthy.
And
ready?
David Dahl.
Here's my lineup when fully healthy. Or you want to go opening day?
No, fully healthy. Add Tatis.
All right. Tatis 1, Soto 2, Manny 3, Bogarts 4, Cronenworth 5.
Sure.
Okay.
This is the problem.
I'm gonna go Ha-Seong Kim 6th. I'm gonna go Carpenter.
Oh, Carpenter. What am I talking about? Of
Carpenter
course.
8th.
Yep. No.
No, 7th, sorry.
Carpenter's higher than Kim.
Lefty righty, bro.
Okay, that's fine.
7th, and I'll go Nola 8th, Grisham hitting 9th.
Yeah, that's 6 through 9 is question mark. Might have been backwards the way I did it. I mean, it could be solid. Carpenter's coming off a great 45 days or whatever. Kim's coming off a good year.
Your 5th through 9th, if you're looking at it, I would go Cronenworth, Kim, Carpenter, Nola, Grisham.
I love it. I'm all on board with Cronenworth. Forget about 1 through 5. It's 6 through 9 that, like most teams in baseball, it's maybe not perfect.
Yeah, and it's righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty.
Which is great, but at the end of the day, I'm okay. You don't have to do that, No,
and Carpenter even gives you close to what he did with the Yankees last year in limited time. You're looking pretty freaking good.
Yeah, if Carpenter hits, but if
you have bounce back season from Grisham hitting not 180, but maybe 235, 240.
But these are ifs.
I know.
Carpenter producing like last year and Grisham returning to whatever form he has shown previously are ifs. But the 1 through 5 is good enough that you should be in
Tatis,
really good position.
Soto, Manny, Bogarts, Cronenworth. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Thank you again for the super HBVV. He says, hopefully Manaea pitches when we play the Giants. Yeah, I agree with that.
Practice. No, you know what he's going to do? He's going to shove somehow.
He'll shove. He'll be throwing 99.
Yeah, 98. Nice. It's
like everything up.
Where's this 98 with movement?
Yeah, it's going to be a joke.
He's throwing 98 in the NLCS, and it was just straight as an arrow.
Yeah, how was he throwing 98? He went from like 85 to like 98 after not pitching.
Yeah, remember that? And I'm like, first pitch, I'm like, why is he throwing 97? And it was like super straight, and he was getting fucking rocked.
Yeah, why are they trying to get like 5 innings out of this guy, like in the World Series, Game 7?
Sean Manaea.
It's like, what are you doing?
They have the lead. Just keep throwing Sean Manaea out there.
Enzo, we had this conversation, I think. And thank you for your super. It says, we're winning 100 games this year. Book it. The franchise record's 98. How many did they win last year? Was it 89, Jim?
89.
I already forget.
89.
So can they go plus 11 with Bogarts, Tatis for most of the year? Not playing the Dodgers as often as they play the Dodgers. They struggled, obviously, in the regular season. I'd be, if there was an over-under of 100, I'd probably go under and say, they'll be close. 97, 98,
it's
99.
So hard to win 100 games in baseball, And to be honest with you, look what, besides the Astros, the Astros won 100 and they rolled through the postseason.
Yeah.
But you look at every other team that won 100 games this year in baseball. How'd it fare for them? Not well.
Not great.
Like Mets, Dodgers, Braves, Yankees almost 100, I think.
I think they did 100, didn't
they? Won 100? Okay. Am I missing one team?
Maybe.
Did I say Braves, Dodgers, Mets, Yankees? I think that's it.
Is there anyone else in the American League? Probably not.
No, just the Astros.
Yeah, 100 is a big number.
I
hope it happens.
I think the Yankees won like 99 or something.
Did they really?
Yeah, I think they won 99. They almost got to 100. But still, my point. I mean, you win 99 games, like, holy shit. It's a franchise record.
Yeah. Thank you, Enzo. This is a topic we discussed briefly, I want to say, on the radio. What do you guys think about? I don't even know if we did. Manaea's comment saying he got lazy as a Padre late in the season.
We did talk about it because we were actually on the radio. And I
don't love it.
Yeah, we talked about this like 3 weeks ago.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was stupid. Like,
yeah,
if I'm a Padres fan, I'm definitely not giving this guy like a ovation when he returns. I'm sorry. Like, you admit you're being lazy. As a fan, I'm not like, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, no, it didn't sit well with me. I mean, I appreciate the honesty. If it, that I'm okay with, but Yeah, that's really disappointing. I mean,
Like if you in your mind knew that you were lazy, you don't have to say it. You could just say I wasn't good enough and I need to be better. Like go the PC route. You say that you're lazy, and it might have been easier for him to say that going to a new fan base. But I mean, imagine if he stayed here and he was like, "Yeah, I was lazy last year." For a team that went to the NLCS
that
and he
pitched
admitted that he
in.
was
He
lazy
active.
and he was pitching in the
That's the
NLCS.
part. Yeah, that's the
That to
part that pissed
me,
me off.
that it just does not bode well, because imagine if he wasn't lazy last year, right? Imagine if that happened.
How are you
And he,
lazy on a team that with that much potential? I mean, it was a World
yeah.
Series potential.
I mean, if he wasn't lazy, maybe they might
Maybe they would
win
have won
game
the World
4
Series.
and they might have won the World
Yeah,
Series. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like they needed a 4-starter. And Manaea at times last year at the beginning of the year was good. And then he sucked and he went in the tank.
So bad in the second half.
So my thinking is, look, if you were lazy last year, okay, well, you might have cost your team in the biggest way possible, because this team was 3 wins away from a World Series and you were on the mound in game 4 when they had a lead and you shit the bed.
Correct. By the way, I assume this is just part of the chat and someone's saying you guys want Chapman.
We said no to Chapman too, by the way.
Obviously. And maybe someone in the chat is saying sign Chapman. No chance in hell.
No.
Chapman has no value. I mean,
no.
In any way. Plus, you don't want him because of his history, where he admitted to firing 8 gunshots through his garage because he was mad at his girlfriend who he allegedly strangled. I don't think that's ideal. I don't think that's ideal.
Yeah, no. And this bullpen's already set.
And what?
I said the bullpen's
what inning
set.
is he pitching? The 4th? I mean, no. Michael, thank you again for the super. He says his prediction is 105 wins. How many teams in baseball won 105 games last year? 1? Dodgers?
No. 2.
Houston.
Braves and Houston. No, 3. Braves, Houston, and Dodgers.
That is a lot, dude.
And the Mets won, I think,
101
or 102.
That's a lot.
If the Padres win 105 games next year,
then you better damn win the World Series.
It's the greatest season. This isn't hyperbole. It's the greatest season in Padres history.
Yeah, but
regular season.
Right. That's the thing. Like, but if you have the Dodgers bow out, then it's like, well, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think we all looked at it last year and we're like,
Braves won 101.
Okay. So maybe 2 teams.
I gotta think. Yeah, how many did Houston win, guys?
I think Houston was pushing the Dodgers.
There it is. LA 111, Houston 107. Those are
2 teams. Wow.
Those are nice years.
I'd much rather have the Padres win, honestly, like 94 games next year and go into the postseason healthy and kind of fight a little bit down the stretch. You know, have them be pushed by the Dodgers. Like if the Dodgers win 91 games and the Padres win 94, that would make me feel better going to the postseason instead of if they won 105 and the Dodgers won 91.
Right.
I'd be like, it'd be great, but it would worry me just because I've seen the history of baseball. And if you go in coasting, sometimes, a lot of times, it doesn't work for you. And it worked for the Astros this year, but, you know, they're not always going to be like the Astros.
Who was it at the winter meetings that told us, like, it's those final 3 weeks. That's all that matters. You got to be hot, playing your best baseball and healthy the final 3 weeks. Was it Sean Casey?
It probably was Sean. I think it was Sean Casey.
Yeah. And I buy it, especially in this playoff format where you just got to go. You're playing multiple teams, short period of time, short series.
Yeah.
You know,
dude, you give me 94 wins next year. You tell me you win the division by 3 games over the Dodgers. Like, yeah, you're taking that. I don't care about if they win 99 or 100 games. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
Shoot, they can win 85 games next year and win the division by some chance and make the postseason. And that's great. All I care about is if they win the World Series.
How many games did you say?
85.
Yeah, I mean, again, yes, you're right, but that's going to be so draining. Like, to do it every single night, they're going to be a 500 team, and they're going to get in on the final day of the season. I mean, if they truly win 85 games, I'm with you, of course, if they win the World Series.
I know we weren't here when it happened, but this team made the postseason and they won 82 games.
Yeah, that's bonkers. And that was with a much smaller
82
postseason.
and 80, and they won the division. I think that was in like 06.
What year was that, guys? That is crazy.
Remember that like I mean, we weren't here obviously, but let me check that right now.
Weren't there back-to-back years where it was like an 82 win team?
2005, they won 82 games. They went 82 and 80, and they got swept by the Cardinals in the divisional round.
It's kind
And
of
then
funny.
the previous year they won 87 games. They
Yeah.
didn't even make the playoffs.
Right.
And then the following year, in 2006, they won 88, and again they lost in the divisional round. And
Yeah.
then 2007, we all know what happened in 2007. Matt Holiday never touched home plate.
Right.
But
Right.
they won
Right.
89 games that year. Didn't make the postseason. And then
It didn't make it
2010,
officially.
2010, we know what happened in 2010. They won 90 games, didn't make the postseason.
Didn't. Yeah. No
And
doubt.
then when you think about it too, oh wait, never mind. What is it? Yeah, you won 89 games in 1989, didn't make the postseason. You win, 83 games in 1985, didn't make the postseason. 83 games in 1988, didn't make the postseason.
Yeah, but that's when you had 4 divisions. I mean, no chance in hell.
I know. I'm just saying that you made the postseason 1 year, 82 wins.
Yeah, exactly. That is crazy. But that was at least at 3 divisions in each league, but still completely rare.
Right.
HBVV, thank you again. Thank you for the super. Thank you guys for hanging out. Please subscribe if you're here. Please subscribe. We have year-round content, exclusive year-round content for Padres fans. He says Dave Roberts lives in Vista. He should be in Smell A. Are you okay with Dave Roberts living in San Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why do I have a problem with that?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, who cares, right?
Yeah, Clayton
Although
Kershaw
he
can
did admit to going on vacation right after the season, right? He went to like Paris or London because he didn't want to
the
come
loss
back
of
to
the
San
Padres,
Diego.
like literally, like he couldn't handle it. Dude,
Which
I don't care where
think
people live. Clayton Kershaw could live downtown San Diego. Who cares?
Yeah, he could. He's got one of those like lofts that overlooks the like the
Over
Western
Petco.
Mass Supply.
Yeah.
Yeah. While we have a moment, I do want to thank our partner, Aura, ORA.organic, longtime partner here on the wrap-up show. Their co-founder is a huge Padres fan, Will, San Diegan, huge Padres fan. They've got offices in Liberty Station. This is a great company. It really is, and they've got something for everyone at Aura. They literally have something for everyone. They are plant-based products. All of their nutritional products are plant-based, and as you can see at their website, they've got a zillion products. They really do. Whether it's probiotics, they take one every single day. They've got proteins for after workouts. They have pre-workout supplements. They have omega-3 oils. They have sleep pills, immunity pills. I mean, it goes on. And they've got great products, and everyone's looking to get healthier at the start of a year. Literally everyone. I'm sure it's someone's resolution right here. These are great products. They can help you get healthier, help you in a number of facets, whatever it is. So ORA.organic, again, San Diego-based company. If you support this channel, please check out the site. There's a link down below. Again, it's ORA.organic. You can shop by browsing in the top left-hand corner. You can see all these products, probiotics, whatever it is. I mean, they got so much pre-workout, post-workout, anything you could possibly need. They've got it for you. Check them out, ORA.organic.
Yeah, that smoothie looks delicious.
That looks good right now, doesn't it, man?
It really does. Go there right now. They have everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. Get your New Year's off on the right foot. Go to aura.com right now, www.aura.organic. You need it. They have it. It's the best on the market, healthiest on the market, organic. They have the greens right there. They have everything you need. Go there right now, www.aura.organic. You'll thank us later.
Yes, thank you for your support of this channel by supporting our partners, Aura and Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. A couple of more things to get to, including a couple of supers. I did want to read something really quickly. Somebody said World Series or bust, ? And for me, I think it is. I mean, it's at least get to the World Series. Not like it's easy. We've talked about that, but I mean, I think everyone's going to be really disappointed if this team falls short of where they were a year ago with the addition of Bogarts and Tatis.
It's 100% for me, World Series or bust. And guess what? That's a good thing. Like, you want that for your team. You don't want anything less. You don't want just make the postseason, right? Like, if you're a Pirates fan, your goal is honestly to go be above 500.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's certain teams out there, like the Cubs. They're not going to win the World Series next year, but maybe their goal is just make the postseason or make some noise to get close. Padres won the NLCS last year and they got better. You are in World Series or bust mode, Padres fans, and you should welcome that and be happy about that. That is something that most teams can't say. Where's what? 5 teams in baseball that are World Series or bust? Maybe.
I mean, the Dodgers, if you're saying Dodgers, Padres, Phillies,
Mets,
Astros, Yankees, Mets,
Yankees.
Braves.
Yeah, I got 6. I got Braves, Dodgers, Padres, Mets, Phillies, Astros.
No, you have to put the Yankees in there. Yeah, 7. Yankees every year.
So yeah, 7 teams in baseball are World Series or bust, and you have now put yourself in that category. And that's a good thing.
Definitely. Michael, thank you again. He says Roberts lives where I live in Carlsbad. Maybe he's everywhere. There's someone else was saying he sees him in Encinitas. Rich McGuire.
I live in City Heights.
Do you see him there?
No.
I see him in Del Mar all the time. I think he's my neighbor.
Oh, look at John. He lives in Del Mar.
Oh, sorry.
So
I'm
nice.
Mr. I'm, live with my girlfriend and I'm going to Cabo.
Oh, no big deal.
Yeah, must be nice. How the other half live. Is anyone in the chat?
Not.
Is anyone here in the chat going to Mexico City for the Mexico City series? I am.
Let me think about this real quick. Did anybody ask?
Yes, I did. I'm one of the 2 hosts.
Did anybody ask? Nobody asked.
Nobody cares that you're going to Cabo, but they do care.
I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
That's true. Yeah, the tickets are sold out. I am presuming I can get credentialed. Look, thank you. Vance. It's going to be there.
Perfect.
Charlie's saying I should take Valeris, which I'm not. I'm flying from the U.S.
I'm taking Valeris to Cabo. I think he's talking to me.
Okay. I don't know where to buy the tickets. Either do I. They're sold out. Getting tickets is a bad experience. Wait, is Faye going? Is Samantha going?
Wow.
Except for the Raiders. Oh, no. I think they're talking about being excited for the season. Everyone's excited. We're pumped. We can't wait for the season. Let me get to the super. Pedro, thanks, man. Appreciate the super. He says, who should Tatis sign as a shoe deal since Adidas axed him? Team Jordan. Did Adidas get rid of him? They got 1 PED suspension and you can't keep a freaking endorsement deal with an apparel provider?
Well, I know Gatorade, I think, dropped him.
Why? I mean, so what? So he tested. I mean, this is the problem. This case, like, people know more about Tatis testing positive for PEDs than they do about Aroldis Chapman's domestic abuse case.
Yep.
Yet they're not comparable. So what?
Nope.
So he took a supplement?
Look, it's the way our stupid society is.
Right. And baseball is crazy with steroids. Right?
Yeah. Like honestly, think about this. If you take steroids in baseball, you're viewed worse than if you are a domestic abuser.
Yeah, that's basically my point. I mean, I don't know if it's. I mean, the Bauer case isn't great. Bauer's viewed pretty terribly,
very terribly. But in football, domestic abusers, they still play. Basketball, they still play. Yeah. If you're good, people look past a lot of shit. That's why people we've talked to say that they think Bauer's going to be back in the game. Jesse Rogers, Chelsea Janes, national baseball writers, ESPN, big time. Like, they're like, look, we wouldn't sign Bauer, but it's just the way things go in sports, and they wouldn't be shocked if he's back somewhere.
Dude, Ray Rice had a 2-game suspension. Now, then there was the video, and he never played again. But you know what I mean? Right. Like, if that video never existed, he had 2-game suspension.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's like domestic abuse people get away with unless there's video in sports.
Yeah, it's just the way. I mean, it's just so stupid.
It's so stupid. I have no beef with Valeris. I'm just saying I can't fly Valeris out of the U.S., can I?
No, you can only fly it out to Tijuana.
Yeah. And Samantha, by the way, says no plans for Mexico City right now, but could change.
Ray Lewis killed somebody.
I didn't realize that Adidas. I had forgotten about it. The Tatis thing was such a blur. I hated that. Like,
who cares, dude? If he goes out and shows out and he balls out and has squeaky clean,
and we're talking about because he took. What did he even take?
Something for ringworm.
But what even do? I mean, so what? So he took something.
Is it like a gel?
Okay.
Was it the clear? Was it the cream?
Right.
Clear?
Exactly. It's like, okay, the world's going to keep spinning. So what? We pretend like it's the worst thing that's happened in American history. It's not. It's really not. It could be a one-time mistake, My 2 cents. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe he was using it more than we realized. All right, we got to run for the night. Join us tomorrow at 3:00 on the radio because we're talking Padres baseball when everyone else is talking about like the 49ers and who cares about the Niners. Hi, Jim.
Bro.
We're talking we'll
Saturday 1:30
1:30
versus the Seahawks. Let's go.
That's a big game. It's almost a must-win.
Is it a must-win?
Yeah, you could say it's a must-win.
I think so.
If they don't win by 35, I'll be shocked.
Dude, they're a 10-point favorite.
This is a Padres channel. Shut the hell up.
I'm so scared, dude. Oh my God, I'm so scared. I can't take this.
Okay, please, if you are here live on replay, if you support this channel, and you do because you're here, please subscribe. We've got year-round Padres content for you. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter at Jon Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for the support of this channel with the supers. Thank you for your memberships as well. You can click that join button down below. Thank you for support of our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, auto, home, renters, or life insurance. Mark is your guy. Thank you, Aura, as well, ora.organic. If you're looking to get healthier this year, make sure to check them out, ora.organic. Also, by the way, if you ever miss any of this video, you can catch us on podcast as well. We've got a link for our podcast down below. All right, join us tomorrow on the radio at 3 p.m. with more wrap-up shows for you next week as well. Happy New Year, everybody. Baseball's coming. We're 37 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting. For Jim, I'm Jon. Peace.
Bye-bye.